Okay, shall we pray? Father, we give this time to you. I thank you for this gathering and this opportunity to look into your word. I pray that you bless this time and speak to us, O God. Excite our hearts with your word and help us enjoy this time. Help us to be informed. Help us to be refreshed. Help us to be revived. Help us to be renewed, that we may learn to please you, God, and complete our purpose. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen. So we have reached Revelation chapter 17. Very interesting chapter that sends us into a new understanding or into a different realm of understanding, which talks about the power that will rule this world in that 7-year period. And so I'm starting off with chapter 17, verse 1. One of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and said to me, "Come, I will show you the punishment of the great prostitute who sits on many waters." So this is dealing with the punishment of the great prostitute, and she is sitting on many waters. What is many waters? What is the term? What do you understand by the term many waters?
Nations.
People.
People.
Many waters means people. So she is sitting or is enthroned or has captivated the people, and she is going to be punished. Verse 2, with her the kings of the earth committed adultery, and the inhabitants of the earth were intoxicated with the wine of her adulteries. So the kings, that's the heads of the world, of this earth, actually got adulterated or committed adultery with her. In other words, they were willing to mingle with her and her ways, give into it. And the people enjoyed the produce of it. They mingled with her, they were willing to get adulterated, and the people enjoyed the produce of it. That is, they were intoxicated with the wine of her adulteries. Are you getting that picture? They were enjoying the produce of it. So we'll come back to that. What you mean by that? The kings were willing to be adulterated by her. One of the things that you would want to know is she introduced them to many forms of receiving or generating power, and she introduced them to many ideas of wealth and power and prosperity, and they tried it out. They were willing to get adulterated by these things. They enjoyed it. They accepted it, and the people also enjoyed it. The produce of it. This is the problem, and so she will be punished. Now, who is this she? Is what we will begin to understand. Verse 3. Then the angel carried me away in the spirit into a desert. So, first of all, you will see that the angel is taking him into a desert, because the angel wants him to see that prostitute. The angel wants him to know who she is. So, the geographical location of this woman is where?
Desert.
A desert. So, that's the first clue you get. She is in the desert. She is from a desert nation, yet she influences the world. Are you getting this? She is from a desert nation, yet she is able to influence the heads of the world and the people of the world. The first clue. There I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was covered with blasphemous names and had 7 heads and 10 horns. So he sees her, and she is enthroned, or she is riding, she is seated on a scarlet beast. What do you mean scarlet? What's the word scarlet?
Reddish.
Red color beast. In chapter 13, you saw the red dragon. In chapter 17, you are seeing the red beast. So keep in mind the color red. Now, this beast is red in color. Why is this called a beast? What do you mean? What do you understand by the word beast?
Some sort of dark human.
And
Nephilim type.
a Nephilim. Not an animal, not a human being. There's no word for it. Beast. So, she is enthroned a Nephilim, red color, which talks about danger or talks about blood and talks about anger, fire, and she's enthroned. In other words, she is astride. She is astride this beast. Now, when you are astride anything, that means that animal can take you places. So, what you got to understand is the beast is taking her places. In other words, the beast is promoting her. That's what you need to understand. The beast promotes her. And she is astride the beast. That means everybody sees her, not the beast. Also, it tells you that she is controlling the beast in the sense, in the places where she needs to go. She is controlling the beast. Are you getting these understandings? So, you have the second understanding of her. She is astride this beast. This is a Nephilim power. A Nephilim power, as explained in Genesis chapter 6, is a very strong power. They are very strong, the Nephilims. And here they are called the beast. They are very strong. Red in color, you've got to be aware, you've got to be beware of it, red in color. And she is controlling it. She is a controlling spirit. She is even controlling the beast. Is this clear so far? The beast also has some features. The beast, what are the features?
7 heads and 10 horns.
The beast has got 7 heads and 10 horns. So this is a very strange looking beast, and every Nephilim is strange because they are half this and half that. In the same way, this beast has got 7 heads and 10 horns. So she is controlling this beast that is a very freaky, very kind of a freak beast. But we will begin to understand what is the 7 heads and 10 horns. So first of all, I would like you to pay attention that there are 7 heads and 10 horns. That means you're talking about 17. Are you talking about 17 characters over here? Is the question that you need to answer. You need to understand that. So the first question that we are asking over here is, does it mean it's 17? different kind of things that we got to understand about. We will go ahead from there. Verse 4. The woman was dressed in purple and scarlet. So she has a color code also. So she dresses in purple and scarlet. What does these colors tell you? Purple is royal. Scarlet also talks about blood. So she is royal, but mingled with blood. Something about blood. Okay? And was glittering with gold. So she also has got wealth. Precious stones and pearls. That means she's got wealth and prominence.
Does this comment mean evil royal?
Right now we are not going that way, but she's royal. That means she is coming from some pedigree. People recognize her. She's royal. She's birthed out of a kingdom, you could say. We'll come to that. Okay, so she has also wealth and prominence. She held a golden cup in her hand filled with abominable things. So in her hand was a golden cup and it was filled with abominable things. What do you mean by the word abominable? What do you understand by the word abominable?
Corruption.
Things that are distasteful, abominable in God's sight. God does not like it. So in her cup, the cup that she drinks and she offers, has got everything that God does not like. That's the point. Okay? Abominable things. And the filth of her adulteries. So this is what is in her cup. Everything that is there is what she does and what God displeases. That fills her cup. Together with this, you see in verse 5, this title was written on her forehead. So she had an identity. There was a title on her forehead. That means she is not hiding herself. She is boldly portraying who she is. Who is she? The first thing about the title is she's a mystery. She's a mystery. The first thing about the title is she's a mystery. That means what do you understand by the word mystery? Something that is not revealed.
Uncertain.
Uncertain. She's a mystery. You will keep asking questions about her.
Not
Second,
conclusive.
no conclusion. Not conclusive, that's right. The second thing that is written on her is Babylon the Great, with a sign over there. So she comes from Babylon, Babylon the Great. That's the question that you are asking. The royal connection. Who started Babylon? Nimrod the king. There's a royal connection. Babylon the Great. So she is calling herself Babylon the Great. The third title is the mother of prostitutes. In other words, she is the one who has initiated seduction, getting people to think otherwise, seducing mother of prostitutes, and of the abomination of the earth. That's the worst kind of title like this. She's the mother of prostitutes and the abomination of the earth. In other words, she's the one who initiates the worst kind of things. Seducing and everything that God displeases is in her. She's the mother. She is the one who brings forth, who births it out. She is the mother of all the filth, in other words. The pit of hell, in other words. From where everything is birthed out. So this is the person, or this is that woman. And verse 6 says, I saw that the woman was drunk with the blood of the saints, the blood of those who bore testimony to Yeshua, to Jesus. So what's her identity? She completely devoured all Christians, Christ followers. She killed them and drank their blood, or she was after their blood. You know, she was drunk with the blood. That gives her a high. She enjoys it. What? Killing the people who serve Jesus. So these are her identities. These are her identities. This is how she identifies herself. When I saw her, I was greatly astonished. John is saying, when I saw her, or when I understood her, when I perceived her, I was greatly astonished. Why was he astonished? Can you try to think why he was astonished?
So he can never fathom the quantum of evil.
Coming back to the question is, why was John astonished? And the answer is, John was astonished not only because of the atrocities he's committed, but he was astonished. Think about it. He was astonished because he didn't expect it to come from this quarters. He did not expect it to come from this end. He never expected it. It was completely in disguise. Are you getting it? See, you would expect it from wicked people, but this woman does not portray herself as wickedness, as somebody that you would want to avoid. She was completely adored, accepted, and very popular in society, and hence it astonished him that from this quarters, this atrocity. That means she is doing everything in disguise, and people are not understanding or not able to understand this kind of attack that is coming. Okay, so we'll begin to understand this lady as we go on. Verse 7. Then the angel said to me, why are you astonished? That means the angel understood. Why are you astonished? I will explain to you the mystery of the woman and of the beast she rides, which has the 7 heads and 10 horns. And I want to say thank you. Because the angel saying, don't worry, I will explain it to you. I mean, too good. The mystery needs to be explained. And the best to explain it is heaven. And else we'll make a big mess of it. You see? And so the angel says, I'll explain. No, you don't worry. Don't be so astonished. I will tell you what it is all about. You see? So before I go on, I want to tell you, just to give you, to set your mind in that direction, this woman is religion. She is religion. And nobody would expect religion to cause this kind of atrocities. Because I always say this, this is a statement that I make. No religion teaches you violence. No religion tells you don't do good. Every religion will teach you good. Every religion teaches you good. We are into a relationship, that's a different thing. That's why he's astonished. It's being religion, how you can do such cruelties. You see, so religion can be a great disguise if you begin to understand this. Now, as you go on, you will understand. Verse 8. The beast which was, verse 8. The beast which you saw once was, now is not, and will come up out of the abyss and go to his destruction. The inhabitants of the earth whose names have not been written in the book of life from the creation of the world will be astonished when they see the beast, because he once was, now is not, and yet will come. So this is the mystery. He is first explaining the beast. Who is this beast? He's saying the beast with the 10 heads, 7 heads, and the 10 horns. Who is this beast? This beast, he explained in simple way, saying, once was, now is not, and will come back. Once was, now is not, and will come back. So, what do you mean, once was, now is not, and will come back? We have to digest this. There are two perspectives to this. I am just going to simplify it for us. First of all, for John to understand. Now, if we look at John understanding it, my question B to this is, was it for John to understand it? I am not answering this, but I will try to help you understand. For John to understand this, he should understand what was it that was, now it isn't, and it's going to come. So what was it? What could be that? Once was, now it isn't, and it's going to come. Possibly, it's the Nephilims. Possibly. They were once was, now you don't see them, they're going to come. That's John's perspective. Are you with me so far? The second perspective, possibly for the church to understand. John is to record, church is to understand. Especially the end time church, for us to understand. Once was, now isn't, but will come back. What is this? After the resurrection of Jesus, what was? What ruled the world? Possibly the Ottoman Empire. They ruled the world till World War I. They ruled almost the whole of Europe. Where are they now?
The Turks.
The Turks. Where are they now? They're not to be seen. They could come back. So I'm just giving a perspective. In that sense, the Nazis, why I'm using these two words is because both these empires persecuted the Jews. Everything in prophecy will revolve around the Jews. That's something you want to do. So I'm using these two empires. One is the Ottoman, one is the Nazis, the German, the Third Reich. You see? So, once was, now isn't, they may come back. So what you're going to see over here is, the second perspective is, that there will be a force that will suddenly again come back alive, come back to rule. That's a clue that the angel gives to John. This is the mystery. So the mystery is basically, if you look into history and try to digest it, understand it, you will understand what was. Right now you will not find it, it's going to come back. That's the point. Okay? Are you getting that much? Have you understood that? Verse 9. This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 hills on which the woman sits. So the 7 heads are hills.
7 hills.
7 hills. Okay, on which the woman sits. They are also 7 kings. Oh. They are also 7 kings. Okay. Why hills? Why kings? Why heads? Why 3 different words used?
Lofty. Right.
Completely lofty.
Right.
Heads are leaders, hills are
High points.
high points, kings are again in control. Then he says, she is sitting on this. She is astride these things. She is riding on this. That also means they are the beast. Correct? Because she rides the beast. Are you trying to say that the 7 kings are beastly? Possible. Or the 7 guys? Possible. Because she is astride this. And she, in the beginning, it was said that she was astride the beast with 7 heads. So possibly all these 7 fellows individually are beasts, are Nephilims. Okay? So there's a tussle between the Nephilims or the beasts, and ultimately the one who wins will be the Antichrist. That's a power struggle. Verse 10, there are also 7 kings, 5 have fallen. 5 have fallen. 5 have fallen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have fallen. 5 have fallen. One is, this guy is there. The 6th fellow is there. The other has yet to come. This fellow is still supposed to come. There is still time for him to come. So, what do you understand from 5 have fallen? So, there are 7 kings, out of which 5 have fallen, one is yet to come. Now, if you are talking to John and expecting John to understand this, from his perspective, then he knows of the 5 kings that fell. Okay? And if you look at it as the 5 empires that was before the Roman Empire, the 5 empires that were there, starting from Egypt, Assyrian, Babylon, Medo-Persian, and Greek. These were the 5 empires that were there. One is, that's the Roman Empire, which John is living in. There's another empire that's yet to come, that will come. That's the 7 kings he's talking about. It's also portraying the 7 kings, the 5 that were not there, the 5 that were there that are not there, now there is, and one will come. So you're getting the perspective now, are you getting that? Are you understanding that much? Okay. Verse 11, the beast who once was and now is not is an 8th king. He belongs to the 7 and is to go to his destruction. So there's another king. He is the 8th king. He is not, who's to come is not going to be the 7, but he belongs to the 7. He belongs to the 7. It could be his son. It could be his commander. So who will be the one who will take over is not the 7, but somebody who belongs to the 7. Are you getting this much? Okay. And he's the one who will go to destruction, the 8th fellow. The 8th fellow will go to destruction. Okay? Verse 12. The 10 horns you saw are 10 kings. Oh, so there are 10 horns. So there are 10 horns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 horns are 10 kings. That's why I tried to ask you, is 7 plus 10 becoming 17? Are we talking about 17? We'll come to that. Are we talking about 17? Then you have another one. Are we talking about 18? So, there are 10 horns over here, who are 10 kings. And he's saying the 10 horns you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received a kingdom. So these guys are kings without a kingdom. That's very funny. They don't know whom they are ruling, but they are kings. So they are of royal background, but they are not yet crowned as king, in other words. They could be princes. They are still not in ruling. What is happening over here is, but who have not yet received a kingdom, but who for 1 hour will receive authority as kings along with the beast. So suddenly what is happening is, these, if you want to call them princes, suddenly will get authority and they will begin to rule with the beast. But for how long?
1 hour.
He's saying 1 hour, that means for a short period. For a short period, they are going to rule with the beast for a very short period. You see? Now, because you asked the question, I'm telling you, I'll clarify this. 7 heads and 10 horns. Does it sum up to 17? No. The 7 heads are among the 10 horns. That's what you need to understand. So the 7 heads are also kings. So they're among the 10 horns. It's not 7 plus 10. But on the beast, there were 7 heads and 10 horns. On the beast. So what you need to understand is, the 7 heads, who are the kings, are the ones who will be playing the role. The other 3 fellows are there as kings, but they're not playing any role. That's why there are 7 heads and 10 horns. They're not playing any much role. If you go to Daniel 7, you will see over there that this 8th fellow topples off 3 fellows. He is called the little horn, the small horn. He topples off 3 fellows. That's why the 3 fellows are not prominent. They are there to be 10, but they will fall off. 10 is also a number in the Bible for law. That's why they are 10. They are coming to bring a law over the whole world. They are coming to bring a law over the whole world. But this fellow who is from the 7th, who is of the 7th, is trying to now become the little fellow, who is trying to become the world ruler. Nobody gives him place. He finishes off 3 guys. And I imagine the setting where they're sitting in a closed room to discuss, and he's there as a deputy or whatever. He wants this power now. He just straight away finish off 3 guys with his gun. The other 7 fellows will just say, you be king, we don't want this place. They will simply fall flat to him. Because he immediately finished off 3 fellows. He topples 3 guys. So the 8th guy who's of the 7 becomes the head of all. That's the point. Okay? Now, verse 13. They have one purpose and will give their power and authority to the beast. When this happens, their power and authority to rule, they just hand it over to them. You do everything. We are puppets. We may be kings, but you're king. They give away all the power and authority. No more arguments. And then, verse 14, they will make war against the Lamb, but the Lamb will overcome them because he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And with him will be his called, chosen and faithful followers. So, in this one verse, you see tucked in a preview of Armageddon. When they give their power to this 8th fellow, this 8th fellow musters their, or harnesses their powers and says we have to go against the Lamb. We have to finish him off. If we can finish him off, this planet is ours. So they all come in and gather in Armageddon as we studied that. But the Lamb will finish them off. Because he is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And with him are his faithful, chosen followers.
That is the church.
That's the church.
The raptured church.
The raptured. That's another clue that the raptured church will be coming with him. It's another clue that the church is not in the world. It's another clue that tells you when they wage the battle or ready for the battle, the church will come with the Lord. Now the church is not coming to fight with the Lord or for the Lord. The church is coming to witness the victory of the Lord at what the Bible calls Armageddon. Okay? And what is the title given to the church over here? And with him will be his called, chosen, and faithful followers. Jesus said, I will build my ecclesia, the called out ones, the called, the chosen, the called out are the chosen ones, and who remain faithful followers. This is the church. They will be with him at this time. So that's verse 14. That tells you the background of, tells you or explains to you where the church is right now.
So the church will come to be a witness to the battle and the victory of the Lord.
Of the Lord, yes.
At Armageddon.
That again is repeated in chapter 19. You'll see how it comes. The church is only the witness. Verse 15. When the angel said to me, the waters you saw where the prostitute sits are peoples. Then the angel said to me, the waters you saw where the prostitute sits are peoples, multitudes, nations, and languages. So she is enthroned the people of this world. And which kind of people? As explained over here, the people whose names are not written in that book. Which book? The book that existed from the foundations of the earth. Now this verse is misunderstood, that's why I want to spell it out to you. If you read that verse, you will misunderstand it, so I will let me explain it to you. Verse 8 says, second part of verse 8 says, the inhabitants of the earth whose names have not been written in the book of life from the creation of the world will be astonished. And people think that from the creation of the world, the names are already written. The point is, the book is from the creation of the world. And the names will be written in that book. That's the point. You know why you got to understand this is because people say, anyway my name is not there, man, so don't worry about it. It's not there anyway. From the creation of the world it was not there. So why are you trying to preach to me? People pick up these kind of arguments to condemn themselves. Okay, going forward. So the woman is sitting on all the people or astride the people. And verse 16, the beast and the 10 horns you saw will hit the prostitute. They will bring her to ruin and leave her naked. They will eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For God has put it into their hearts to accomplish His purpose by agreeing to give the beast their power to rule until God's words are fulfilled. The woman you saw is the great city that rules over the kings of the earth. Now what is happening over here is she's slowly transforming over here. She's astride the beast, but she's seated on the many waters, that is the people. So she's astride the beast is her power, the beast is what is empowering her, she is influencing, she's seated on the people, influencing the people, empowered by the beast, okay? But for a short while, her destruction will come from the beast itself. The beast will turn on her and chew her up, in other words. The beast itself will finish that woman. Now you got to understand this. Why should the beast finish off the woman? Because the woman is religion and the beast is religion. The beast cannot get people if the beast cannot portray himself as God. Now, if the woman is already religion, she is portraying a religion for all the world, and the world likes it. A very pantheist kind of a religion, one, God for everybody. Everybody gets their kind of God, and she is portraying it. But where the beast is concerned, he is the only God. He wants to present himself as that.
Who said?
Yeah. The beast wants to present himself like the only God, not what you want, your kind of God. He is going to bring in a new religion. So he has to completely demolish the old religion. That's why he will chew her up. So what's the words used over here? Verse 16, the beast and the 10 horns you saw will hate the prostitute. They will begin to abhor her because she is preaching against them. They will bring her to ruin and leave her naked. That is, they will expose her to say that this, whatever gods she is portraying are no gods. They will expose her. They will eat her flesh. That means they will finish her up. She will not be found. This religion spirit will not be found. And burn her with the fire. Okay? Who will bring an end to religion? The beast system. The beast system, the final system, will bring an end to religion. For God has put it into their hearts. Who is this? That system of those 10 kings. Put it into their hearts to accomplish his purpose by agreeing to give the beast their power to rule until God's words are fulfilled. God's words has to be fulfilled. The agreement is, okay, you want to rule. For how long you want to rule? 3.5 years. And we understood all this in the previous sessions. They will rule for 3.5 years. Okay. The woman you saw is the great city that rules over the kings of the earth. Now, it shifts now suddenly and says the woman that you saw is the great city. So we come back to that great city. Which is this great city?
Babylon.
Which is this great city? Babylon. Okay, it says the woman you saw is the great city that rules over the kings of the earth. Now, what is Babylon? Which is the great city Babylon? Where is Babylon? Okay, all these questions have to be answered, and we can speculate many things. But some of the things that you got to understand over here is, you will pick it up, I'll help you understand this by going to Daniel. Go to the book of Daniel and show you a verse, a couple of verses there. That will really kind of help us digest this. Okay. Daniel chapter 11. Jumping into those verses that begin to help you understand this final power. Daniel chapter 11 verse 31. His armed forces will rise up to desecrate the temple fortress and will abolish the daily sacrifice. Then they will set up the abomination that causes desolation. Now the Lord himself spoke about the abomination that causes desolation. So, the forces or this army will first of all attack the temple and set up the abomination that causes desolation. In other words, they will set up what God dislikes, the abominable things that desecrates the temple, the abomination that causes the desolation. With flattery, he will corrupt those who have violated the covenant, but the people who know their God will firmly resist him. Those who are wise will instruct many, though for a time they will fall by the sword or be burned or captured or plundered. When they fall, they will receive a little help, and many who are not sincere will join them. Some of the wise will stumble, so that they may be refined, purified, and made spotless until the time of the end, for it will still come at the appointed time. Verse 36. The king will do as he pleases. He will exalt and magnify himself above every god. That's when he will show up that moment. Because he has to magnify himself above every religion, every god. And will say unheard of things. So he put to rest the pantheist kind of teaching that she has. There is nothing like religion, he will say. There's no religion over here. Okay? He will say unheard of things against the God of gods. He will be successful until the time of wrath is completed, for what has been determined must take place. For the word of God to come to pass. Daniel chapter 17, Revelation chapter 17, we read that. Here we see for the determined time, it has to take place. He will show no regard for the gods of his fathers, or for the one desired by woman, nor will he regard any god, but will exalt himself above them all. So here he is not even promoting the God of his fathers. Good point to note. He is promoting himself as God. No known religion will be promoted over there. But the known religion will bring it to this point.
When he says neither the God of Satan doesn't have God.
No.
God of his fathers.
He wants to promote himself as God ultimately. No, but what you see over here is all known religions will bring it to this point. But when it comes to this point, he will finish them off. He'll finish them off. Think about it. The high priests of those religions who have been given great importance and authority and say, nobody will, if they don't listen to your teaching, kill them, who the beast will be telling you. So they come to big prominence, they come to big authority and power, and then the religion is ruling over here by the sword. And then this fellow comes up and finishes the fellows who are promoting the religion. He will deceive them. And he will chew them up. He is the one who will finish them and burn them up. And then he will say, I am God. No. You better worship him. And he will come from a religion, but he will not care for the God of his religion. Or the father, the God of his father. I am God. That's what he's saying. Okay? Okay. Now, in this verse is tucked in something. Okay, let us read on. Instead of the verse 38, instead of them, he will honor a God of fortresses, a God unknown to his fathers. He will honor with gold and silver, with precious stones and costly gifts. He will attack the mightiest fortresses with the help of a foreign god, and will greatly honor those who acknowledge him. He will make them rulers over many people, and will distribute the land at a price. Okay, so this guy will begin to grow and become more and more powerful. That's the final king that we're talking about. But there is a small thing that I want to show you that is tucked in over here and tucked in into verse 37. You read the portion where it says, or for the one desired by woman. He will show no importance to any god of the one. What do you mean? The one desired by woman. What do you mean? Will women desire some god which men don't desire? What do you mean about this? What do you understand by this? He will not give importance to any god, not even the god that women desire. What do you understand by this? What you need to understand over here is, this is how I understand it. You see, women do not want to desire a man who promotes himself as God. They are not willing to desire such a man. What you need to see over here is, think about Mary or the Jewish girls of her time. They all desired to bring forth Jesus. Mary was chosen. So woman desired a God. Here, that God he does not desire. Or the one desired by woman. He is not paying attention or does not have any value for any other God. Even in that sense, because remember this is Daniel. In Daniel's time, Jesus has not yet come, and women were desiring to bring forth the Savior. They will desire in the years to come as the prophecy goes on becoming stronger and stronger. But he will not pay regard to that God. Are you getting it? You got it? Okay. Any questions? Any questions? We have finished chapter 17. Anybody has any questions? Go with me to Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7 verse 19 onwards. Then I wanted to know the true meaning of the fourth beast, which was different from all the others.
7 what then?
19 onwards. Then I wanted to know the true meaning of the fourth beast, which was different from all the others, and most terrifying, with its iron teeth and bronze claws. The beast that crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. So, this beast has iron teeth and bronze claws. Iron is judgment, is authority, brutal authority, and bronze is judgment. So, he will use authority and crush them with his laws and mouth and ruling, and what was left over, he will trample them with judgment, with his own laws. The beast that crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. I also wanted to know about the 10 horns on his head and about the other horn that came up, before which 3 of them fell. You see, that's where the 10 minus 3 plus 1, that's where you get the 8th horn. Or the 8th horn. Are you with me so far? Okay? The horn that looked more imposing than the others and that had eyes in the mouth that spoke boastfully. So the horn, the 8th horn, looked more imposing. It had eyes. Eyes means very intelligent, had a lot of information and a boastful mouth. Promoted himself. He did not need any marketing agency. He could promote himself. As I watched, this horn was waging war against the saints and defeating them. The saints and defeating them. Jesus said, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail. Correct? Here they are being defeated. So who are these? This is not the church. That's what you got to note. Until the Ancient of Days came and pronounced judgment in favor of the saints of the Most High. And the time came when they possessed the kingdom. Okay, so the kingdom was there, and these saints possessed the kingdom. These are the saints who became saints after the rapture or in the 7-year period. Okay, so some of the things he talks about this king. Verse 23, he gave me this explanation. The fourth beast is the fourth kingdom that will appear on earth. It will be different from all the other kingdoms and will devour the whole earth, trampling it down and crushing it. The 10 horns are 10 kings who will come from this kingdom. After them another king will arise, different from the earlier ones. He will subdue 3 kings. He will completely finish off 3 fellows, annihilate them completely. He will speak against the Most High and oppress his saints and try to change the set times and the laws. So one of the signs you will see is this spirit will change set times and laws. Okay, if you see in the world today, this is what is happening. Many laws are being changed. Many things that we were used to are being changed. The world is turning around. That tells you that the spirit is already looming around. So the set times, and the times are, you could say, festivals, holidays, red letter, calendar, dates as holidays. We want to change all these things. You see? So these are the signs you're getting. These are the signs. We try to change the set times and laws. The saints will be handed over to him for a time, and half a time. He is after the church. Chapter 12 of Revelation also talks about the same thing. Verse 26. But the court will sit and his power will be taken away and completely destroyed forever. Then the sovereignty, power and greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven will be handed over to the saints, the people of the Most High. His kingdom will be an everlasting kingdom, and all rulers will worship and obey him. Praise the Lord. This is the end of the matter. I, Daniel, was deeply troubled by my thoughts, and my face turned pale, but I kept the matter to myself. He could not comprehend all this. It was too much for him when he got first-hand information. So there was Daniel's time. It was very far in the past. Then John comes. Very, like in the future compared to Daniel. And now the church, we. 2000 years have passed after John. And we are reading these verses. So we've come to the close, to the end. We've come to the close of all these things. And this power is already being built up, growing in the world. People are getting familiar with these things. People are getting familiarized with these kind of things. And so the beast, that's the non-man, non-human, non-animal kind of a creature that the world is getting familiar with. But if you see in movies today, there's one character who's the villain, who is half human and half machine. He is a Superman because of the machine and the computers within. What do you call such a man? He's a beast. He's a beast. He's completely a non-human being. We have the human being. These are the type of creatures that will come around to
Cyborgs.
Half machine, half man.
Yeah. Who will come around to rule the world. Now these machines will be machine, man and spirit and animal genes all put together, which the Bible calls a beast. They will begin to rule the world. And that's why they don't have compassion. They don't have feelings. They're all focused.
They don't have a soul.
They don't have a soul. They don't have a what you should define as the soul that we think we know of. They have a different kind of a spirit in them, and they have a different goal. The going was a different goal. Destruction. That's what even the movies are talking about. That you humans cannot do it. We are here to help you all. We are here to take over. We will solve your problems. Human beings can't solve this problem. You have to give it over to us. This is what is being taught to the next generation. And the ones who do not have the word of God with them are now being fed this gospel. They are accepting it. When it comes around the corner, they'll say, okay, you'll accept it. Without any resistance, because they've been already educated.
That's so deceptive.
Completely deceptive. Because it's the hope, and everybody wants hope. Come and just thank the Lord. Shall we stand up and thank the Lord? Father, we thank you. You're merciful, O God. We thank you for this evening that went by, this opportunity, Lord. We give you the glory. All the information that you've given us, you've enriched us with this information. Many do not know, but the most, oh God, difficult to understand is people do not even want to know. Oh God, I want to thank you that you have helped us with this time. So remind us, O God, of all this that is going to happen in the days to come. I pray, Lord God, that you excite our spirits and light a fire within, O God, that we will prepare our hearts with the instruction of your word, O God, that when the trumpet blasts and the call is made, we will be taken away from here, so that we will not be left back, or we will not, O God, have to struggle in this dying world. Thank you that you are coming back for your bride. Help us, bless us, and help us, O God, to come to you. We want to tell you, Lord God, this evening that we want to spend eternity with you. So help us and bless us. Bless our lives, our families, our loved ones, O God, ourselves. I ask you for myself, for my family, my children, and all of us over here, Lord God, that we will take your instructions seriously and live our lives, O God, according to your calling and your purpose, in a time like this, in a day like this, for your glory, O God. And God's faithful people say, Amen. God bless you.